Are you ready? Can crush us. It don't really get no better than this the podcast that you're looking for if you're really heavy into wrestling. Hosted by the Mark. Energy that's so amazing. Gotta keep it entertaining. Rep the Can Crusher Nation. Yeah, you know what's going down in the ring. Lights out when you hit a ding ding. Knock 'em out like boom bada bing. Hold it down, you can crown me the king. Got a shout out to the Miz and Duke the Dumpster. We choke slamming everybody, power driving, hit 'em with a face buster. Yeah, this the show you need and it ain't no need for waiting. Mark, hold it down for the Can Crusher Nation. All about wrestling and keep it entertaining. Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. Time to break 'em, let's go. Yeah. Can Crushers. Yeah. Can Crushers, let's go.
Hi everyone, this is Ringside Rain and you're listening to Can Crushers Podcast. And now, here is your host, Mark the Mark Martinez.
And welcome back to another Can Crushers Wrestling Spotlight. I am your host, Mark the Mark Martinez. Guys, I'm super excited about this one because it's going back to my roots a little bit, back to where we started with the whole interview process. I'm going to be speaking with the Spark, Jada Stone. Jada is huge right now in OVW, and guys, if you don't know the OVW women's roster, I'm going to bring it up during the interview for sure, but holy moly is that women's roster in OVW. It's names. It's names that you should be focused on and watch because they are going to be that next revolution, I think. And Jada's part of it. Jada is going to be part of it. You saw her recently on Impact, and I don't want to get into that too much because I want to get her thoughts on what happened on Impact. So just listen. We'll dive into all of that. But guys, make sure when Jada gives out her socials or go buy some merch or something, I'm telling you right now, buy it. Get it. Because Jada's going to be there. Yes. Young into wrestling, but she's got everything on the docket. So, yeah. Guys, you know what we have to do first before we get into the interview? We have to tell you about Collar and Elbow. Hats, hoodies, tees, all the cool stuff that Al Snow and the Hooligans make down there at Collar and Elbow Wrestling brand.com. Man, they're producing shirts like it is their job, Mark. It really is. It's almost like every other day or at least 2-3 times a week, we're getting new shirts from Collar and Elbow. So make sure you check them out. I know, I'm going to be this guy. Christmas is around the corner, women and boyfriends and everything. We all like Collar and Elbow stuff. Head over to Collar and Elbow, buy some shirts, tuck them away until Christmas. And when you do, use the promo code CANCRUSHERS. It's all one word, capital C and Can, capital C and Crushers. You'll save 10% on your order. Yeah, and it'll be worth it. Guys, I know you're listening to this podcast right now on your favorite platform. Make sure you follow, like, share, do all that. It really helps the podcast out. If you can leave a rating, that's amazing. 5 stars. I would love to be as 7 stars like FTR, but they only give 5 on those. Leave a late rating on a review. You know what to do. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. It's all at CanCrusher69. And if you're part of wrestling, talent listening to this, and you'd love to be showcased like Jada Stone is right now, shoot us an email. It's cancrusher69@gmail.com. We'll set you up for your own spotlight. I'll dive in and find out a little bit of dirt. I don't dive in at all anymore. I watch TV and I see you on TV and I'm like, yes, I need to talk to you. Tell us your story. We love hearing it. Here comes Al Snow to tell you more about Collar and Elbow, and then when we come back, we'll have the Spark, Jada Stone, to talk OVW wrestling, her career, and somebody that she probably should have a beef for the rest of her life.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. two entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
And welcome back to Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. Guys, you heard how excited I was to talk to my guest, the Spark, Jada Stone. But you know what? I have to, before we get into the rewind and find out all about wrestling, Jada, how much do you hate Killer Kelly?
Oh my God. Literally, I just got beat by Tiffany, and then she just came out and attacked me for no reason. Like, me and her are not on good terms, and I am hoping to one day get redemption. But as for now, she got it.
Yeah.
But yeah, still a little salty about that.
I would be too. Like, you had, no disrespect, you lost the match. You were just going to lick your wounds and be on your way and
Right? Like,
rebound.
I already beat myself up about it, and then boom, her music.
Yeah. What the hell? Yeah, wasn't too happy about that. I should have said welcome to the show. So how are you doing in all of that?
I'm good. The whole Impact opportunity was amazing. Because that was my first time actually being like, in the back of, a bigger promotion or whatever. So I was nervous because it was like the wrestling fan in me was just like, oh no, like, I don't know what to think. What if they hate me? What if they're mean to me? So it was so much going on, but I'm thankful for the opportunity that I've got. And, Killer Kelly, we got some beef, but it's okay. She was cool.
Well, in my mind, my mom aptly named me. My real name is Mark, and I am a huge Mark. I think that was a huge spot, though. If I sit there and look at it, because they could have picked me, they could have picked anybody. Like, they picked you to get your rear end handed to yourself by Killer Kelly, and people are like, "Oh, but that's a huge return for Impact." Like, I thought, yeah, Killer Kelly's back, and I'm like, oh shit, Jada just got pushed inside of herself. But
Yeah.
I think that's that says a lot. They're like, this girl will do it, and will do it right and sell for Killer Kelly, and that's awesome.
Yeah, it was a cool experience because she was trying to think of, because they wanted to make her look dominant, and so she was trying to find different moves to make her look dominant, because you already know she put Tiffany in some type of hold, and so they were trying to make her move on me be bigger and like make it a statement, because that was her return. And so we were just messing around in the ring earlier, and she was like, I wonder if I could do this. And then I was like, hey, let's try it. And then we did it. And she was very nice about it. She was saying like she liked working with me because, I post. That's the main thing in wrestling, posting. And yeah, it was her first time trying the move too. So she really made me feel safe and protected, because at the end of the day, wrestling is scary because it is
It really is.
all hands on.
It really is scary, because there's a trust factor with, if you've never met this person, and I don't know, you only probably met Killer Kelly a couple hours before, if you don't put your life in their hands and they don't protect you, you are, not wrestling anymore, essentially, without putting any bad words out there, right?
No, yeah. And so it was cool because, like I said, you have to trust the person you're working with. So even before that, she was just talking to me and being nice and just asking questions about me before we even stepped in the wrestling ring. And I feel like that's something you have to do with people who you don't know. You have to get their background. It's like, okay, what do you like to do? This is what I like to do. And then you move on from there. But yeah, she was cool. She's amazing.
Yeah, I actually met her last year in Baltimore at one of the WrestleFests or Baltimore Fest or whatever. She was with my cousin Mercedes Martinez. They kind of were like lingering around. And
Wait, that's your cousin?
yeah.
Oh my God. I
Yeah.
love her too.
Yeah. Yeah. She's pretty cool, right? She's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's do the rewind. Who introduced you to wrestling? Mom, dad, Uncle Joe, a cousin? Who said to, hey, little Spark, you need to watch this because you're going to be a wrestler?
Yeah. So, actually, my older brother, he was a wrestling fan, and then one day I was on punishment. I can't remember what I did, but my mom was like, "You can't watch TV." And then I was like, okay. So my brother was literally just watching wrestling, and that was the only thing that I could watch. And I sat down with him that day, and then ever since then, I was hooked. So.
Do you remember in your long years of life, do you remember your first, match that you saw, first person you saw that really made that big spark?
It's a couple actually, but I mean, the first wrestler who stuck with me was John Cena, just because he had that "never give up," slogan, and I really love that because life is hard, and it's nice to have a person you look up to say something so powerful, and have a statement you live by. But the spark gimmick was, I literally was just thinking about it, and I was like, like I want something that's not already out there. So, we already have a princess in wrestling. We already have a queen. We already have a boss. Bailey's a role model. We already have, she had the hugger gimmick. So it was like a lot of these names were already taken. And I wanted to be something different because I feel like I am different in the ring. I feel like the way I move in the ring isn't the way other girls can move in the ring. Just because of my background. And so I was like, And then I was like, Spark. And then I remember it was supposed to be the Superior Spark, but then everybody was like, that's too long of a name.
Yeah, you'd stuttered over that, or it would get tongue-tied. Yeah.
So it was supposed to be the Superior Spark, but then the place I was training with at the time, they're like, why don't you just use the Spark? And I was like, I like the Spark.
I do
and
too.
It's different too.
It's very different.
I never ever heard that nickname in wrestling, so that's where that came from. But I'm big fans of Bailey and Sasha. Like, those are my whole entire reasons, and those are like my dream match opponents.
We're gonna get there. Holy moly, you're like blowing through this interview. No, I'm kidding.
I'm super excited.
Yeah. So some of you mentioned some of your favorites growing up, and you said you have a background. I don't do research anymore, Jada. I really don't. When I first started these interviews, I was putting hours of like, oh, well, then I know the whole story, and I'm only bringing it to the people that don't want to do the research. I said, throw that away, because I like hearing the story from you guys. So it's legit, real, honest. When I say, oh my God, I really mean, oh my God. I'm not being Joey Styles. So what is your background? You said you have a background that really helped you in wrestling. What did you do, going up through high school and everything?
Yeah. So, I have always been doing sports my whole entire life. So growing up, I was just always athletic and always outside, playing kickball or, whatever I can do with my friends in the neighborhood. And then so I played softball, and then I was always flipping around. And so my mom was like, why don't you get into cheer? And I was like, okay, let me try cheer. And so I started cheerleading, and then I dropped softball for cheer. And then I also ran track in high school.
Wow.
So I'm just all over the place, but I definitely feel like cheer helped me out the most, just because that gives me that spark persona, which is why I say like nobody can move like me in the ring, because I'm so quick, and I flip and I use my cheer abilities in the ring. And then that's where the whole spark character, fiery
kind of came from.
cracker.
Yeah.
In
a minute, I'm gonna ask you actually like what three wrestlers, and you might have given them away already, but I'm gonna then give you like the three wrestlers that I see that you are, but we're not there yet. But I'm just forewarning you before you release it, because I know you're like, yes, I want to tell you this, I want to tell you this, I love it. You have been the most bubbly person ever on this show.
And
like Dustin Jackson's like, yes, or somebody.
And that's another reason why I went with the spark, because I'm always smiling and I'm like bubbly, and everybody's like, "You're so tiny, Jada." And so it's just, I don't know, it just fits my character. But it's like not even a character really, because
It's
that's
you.
me.
It
Yeah.
It's that, and I've heard Al say it, and I've heard Doug, or I've heard other people say it. It's you times 11, which that grinds my gears, because I'm like, there's no times 11. It's just you. I know you're supposed to put it up, but I'm like, that one thing that they always say, it's just you up to 11. I'm like, boh, I don't know why that pisses me off, but it does. I don't know.
Yeah.
So when did you make that, after, cheer and softball and track and all that, when did you make that decision as, hey, I'm going to wrestling school? And then how did the family, little girl going up to, the family saying, I'm going to go be a wrestler? Like,
Yeah.
somebody had to have some pushback on that.
Yeah, so it's actually funny because I wanted to start wrestling since I was 7, but I really started like pushing on it when I was like 10, I want to say. And so every time when they would be like, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" I would be that one girl in class, "I want to be a wrestler." And then my teachers would be like, "Wait, you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like I'm gonna do it." So then I remember one day I had my driver's license when I was 15. You're not supposed to drive in the dark, but I did it anyways. So it was like I already had my driver's license. My parents already had me a car. So I was working at Chick-fil-A at the time. So I had money. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm about to turn 16. Let me start looking at wrestling schools near me. And I live in Columbia, South Carolina.
Great.
So I just typed up wrestling schools near me, and then I saw one that was 30 minutes away. And so without telling my parents, they knew I wanted to be a wrestler, but I think they thought that I was going to grow out of it. But here I am, 3 years later.
Wait. Were you're going to wrestling school behind your parents? Clearly they know now and everything, but you were going to wrestling school behind your parents' back?
Yes, I was. It's a whole story.
At the age of 16, I'm going to slap mom and dad and your family. Like, how does this happen? You can't say that you're working at Chick-fil-A for 24 straight hours.
It's so funny because that's what I would do. I remember one time I went to the sorry Chick-fil-A if y'all are, listening to this, but I literally was like, "Hey."
I'm throwing everybody under the bus. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, it's fine. I mean, my parents know now, so it's fine. But I remember literally being like, "Hey, Chick-fil-A, like, I'm not feeling good. Like, I need to go home." They were like, okay. I went straight from Chick-fil-A to that training place that I found out, right?
You're clearly not at Chick-fil-A anymore, right? Before I cannot post this, right? You do not work at Chick-fil-A.
No,
okay.
no.
Okay.
I moved on from Chick-fil-A. But yeah, so I was like, I'm sick, and then they sent me home, as they should. And then I went straight to wrestling, and then I met the trainer there. And then he was like, "Yeah, like we're actually moving. You caught us on a good day," because they were actually moving to a bigger school that day. So I was like, "Okay, cool. Like, I'll help y'all move, and I'll go see what it's all about." So then I went to their new school. It was only like maybe like 10 minutes away. It wasn't that far. So then that's when I saw the first wrestling ring, and then this girl there was like, "Have you ever been in a wrestling ring?" And I was like, "No." And 16-year-old me was just like, what? Like, no. And then I stepped in the ring, and then I got to watch their class, and I was like, "Yep, doing this, love it." And then even then after that, like I went to some training stuff. I got my auntie to sign, because I was 18, so I did have to get somebody to sign it. So I got my auntie to sign it, and I was like, "Please, like, this is what I want to do," because my auntie's like one of my bigger supporters. And then so they found out. I told them eventually. I was like, "Hey, like, y'all are gonna be mad at me, but I started wrestling," because like my dad went up there and he was like, "No, she's not doing this." And then like he took me back, and I was like, "I'm sorry. I don't like to disobey you, but this is what I want to do, so I'm gonna do it." And then I did it. Then I already started going to the practices and everything, and then I was like, "Hey, like, y'all are gonna hate me, but like this is what I'm doing," and I've been doing it for about a month now. And then my mom was like, "Really, Jada?" And she was more on board with it. My dad was still like, no, but my mom was like, hey, like, she's already doing it. Just let her do it. And then here I am 3 years later. But now my dad is my biggest supporter. My dad supports it more than my mom.
I was going to say, I'm sure Dad's all in now, right?
Literally, like, he loves it. He thinks it's so cool. He thinks I'm famous and everything.
First off, there's so much to unpack in that. It's unbelievable. Again, you're disrespecting your parents and Chick-fil-A at this point by not going to work or listening to your parents. And then you kind of cause I don't know if you caused a family war, but you're getting your aunt involved into your shenanigans behind everybody's back. You know, props
Literally.
to all of them. Props to all of them for dealing with you, Jada. And now, though, that you said your dad's your biggest fan, I guess it worked out. I guess
it did.
You're okay. You're back to the favorite child again, right?
Literally. Come on. Yes.
Yeah. Mom's still not on board, or she's just like, eh?
No. She's on board. She loves it, but she's just more like, my baby, she's gonna get hurt.
Of course,
but my
that's what
dad's
moms
like,
do.
Oh yeah, you're so cool and so tough, you know?
Yeah. Is Dad front row all the time, just like pushing people out of the way?
Literally. Oh yeah. And then I'm like, y'all have to. I hate when they do this because they call me by my real name, and I'm like, y'all have to call me Jada while I'm here, you know?
Right.
Like, we gotta stay in character.
Come on,
so
catch up, Dad.
That's the only thing they're struggling with, but I love them, so it all worked out.
Once you went and you started your training and that whole story, my mind is just blown. Like, I can now see my son that is, we've talked before, literally 2 years younger than you are. I could see my son now doing that behind my back of something
Literally.
that he wanted. I'm like, you damn kids. Like, I have to now watch him.
That was the time where the WWE superstars were doing like cameos and stuff. So I sent one to Sasha. Yes. And then I told her, I was like, you know, because you get to write something in like 100 messages. I told her what was going on. And I literally have the video. She was like, hey, Jada, like, if this is your goal, this is what you need to do. You know, like, sometimes your family's not going to support it, but this is what you need to do. And I literally have this video to this day. And so I will say Sasha inspired me a little bit because I was like, Sasha said I need to do it. So guess what? I'm going to do it. Sorry, parents.
So we're at the first day of training, and you're all pumped up. First day, you probably are ready to go. Day 2. Or anything after that, is there a day that you're like, oh, I might have bite off more than I could chew, or I'm like, oh, this really hurts, this sucks?
Yeah, so day 1, it was so funny because my trainer at the time literally said, this is going to be the best you felt like
ever
your entire life. Yeah. And then he was like, because next week we're bumping. And I was like, okay, like, it can't be that bad. Yep. Bumping sucked. I don't think my back has ever felt as great since then, but you know, it's fine. So running the ropes was worse, but
I was just going to ask, what do you think was your worst thing in training that maybe, because you have the cardio from running, you have the flipping and the bouncing around from like cheerleading. So you have all that. What's the roughest thing for you?
I felt like, I'm not sure if like everybody listening to this knows what it is, but it's called a flip bump. And that means you basically front flip, but you land on your back. And for me, since I was a cheerleader, I was always used to landing on my feet. So that was hard because I'm like, why am I landing on my back? Like, I can literally just flip forward and land on my feet. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that was very hard. And then it hurt too because I forgot to breathe every time I bumped. So my breath would just be like, and then I would like and they'd be like, Jada, breathe. And I'm like, oh my God, like, this is hard. You have to flip, land on your back, and breathe? Like, how am I going to do all
3 things? How can I do 3 things at once?
Literally. So I feel like flip bumps were definitely the hardest, but I mean, I got it now. So, and then also running the ropes because I'm shorter. Like, I'm literally only 5 feet.
Yeah.
So the ropes are tall. So I literally have to run the ropes standing on my tippy toes, but I also have to make sure that I'm in line, you know, that I'm not going into somebody else's lane, and then I have to stand straight, you know what I'm saying, on my tippy toes. So it was hard getting that too, just because most people don't have to stand on their tippy toes when they're running the ropes.
Well,
So.
guys, you can see Jada on OVW. She's a lot on there a lot, so make sure you check her out there. So you can see that she can run the ropes now because she's crazy. And we'll talk about OVW here in a minute, but I wanna ask you this question now. Like, who is the Spark? Who is Jada Stone? And here's who. Before you start going off, here is who I see that you are. These three wrestlers. One, you've mentioned Sasha. Clearly, that was one of my picks. I see Sasha all over you with the spark, the legitness and everything. I see Sasha. I see Alexa Bliss though too, because the way that you move when you are doing things on the top rope. I see Alexa, and then I saw in one of your clips, and I'm like, holy shit, that looks just like RVD when you did your split moonsault. I think you do that amazing. So, Sasha, Alexa, and RVD are who I have you packaged as. How close am I?
You got me on the Sasha, but I feel like it's so funny because, okay, so I'm a big Bailey and Sasha fan. So it's so funny because Bailey, I remember being there live, and they had their "This Is Your Live" segment with Bailey,
right?
And basically, Alexa embarrassed Bailey and started hitting her, made Bailey cry, and I was there live, and I started crying. I was with Bailey. I was so sad that "This Is Your Life" segment. It was horrible, and so after that, I was like, I'm not an Alexa Bliss fan, but I will say she is talented, and the whole back handspring stuff, because she was a cheerleader too.
Right.
And I also look up to her too because she's shorter. So we run the ropes the same. I studied her when I was running the ropes just because she's shaped like me. But yeah, we love her. But I feel like really the spark is definitely, it's not really more so Bailey. She's just a role model to me. But it's more so Sasha, with the confidence and the attitude. But then I have Bianca because Bianca was athletic too, and she knows how to flip, and she ran track as well. And she also went to USC, and I'm from Columbia, so I was like, okay, girl. And then Naomi, because that's where I originally wanted to do the split leg moonsault from.
I forgot that she did it. I'm a horrible viewer. I would have put Naomi in there instead of RVD. Damn it. Yeah, you're right.
And she does the kicks that I do. She's literally flexible like me, and so and I feel like we're kind of similar when it comes to that. But yeah, definitely Bianca, Sasha Banks, and Naomi.
Okay, I was close, but not close enough. Okay, so OVW. Let's talk a little bit about OVW, and I started the show off like this actually in the intro. The OVW's women roster is unbelievable what's going on. I think there's another huge women's revolution coming, and I'm not knocking any of the ones that are there now or anything, but I just think between yourself and Judy and Dream Girl Ellie and Haley J and Freya, and I mean the whole list can go on. It is a freaking who's who in OVW for that women's roster right now. How fun are you guys have working together, and how much do you guys throw off of each other saying, hey, this, because I'm telling you, anytime you watch OVW, oh God, Al, I'm sorry. The women are stealing the freaking show. Sorry, Al. But the women are freaking stealing the show. I love it.
Yeah, it's amazing. I feel like I actually got introduced to OVW from actually Judy, and Judy is one of my bestest friends I have, even in real life. So I was actually talking to Judy before I even started training. Okay. Right? I literally lived with her in Kentucky this whole summer while we've been doing the summer tour. So she's good people. I feel like really everybody is good people in the locker room. I feel like we all have something else to bring to the table. I feel like our characters are different, and we all can get along. But at the end of the day, it's still a competition. You know what I'm saying? We all want the same thing. So I feel like it's been more I love you, sister. You're my friend. but I have to do what's best for me. So I feel like that's how the locker room is now. But I respect it because that means we all are passionate about the business, if that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. And if you're a wrestling fan or you've been a wrestling fan for a hot minute or 35 years, you understand that. Yeah, you understand that it is, I will defend you when there's another enemy, but when it's one-on-one, I'm taking your shit.
It's like I have to do it for me.
Yeah, I will take care of my own business. How is it working with Al? Like, Al's an unbelievable human being.
I love Al. Like, I literally call him Allie. I'm like, Allie! Like, I just get so excited to see him. And it's so funny because when I first met him, I was just like this shy little girl, like, hi, Al Snow.
I can't believe that at all. You're lying there. You're completely...
I kid you not. I swear, I was so nervous. But now I always joke with Al, and I always literally, I feel like I'm new to the wrestling business because I've been training for 2 years, but I've only been on shows since October. So I literally haven't even been on shows for a year yet. So like being in his presence and like just at OVW was just like, oh my God, like I used to watch Al Snow, back in the day and like on Tough Enough. Like I can't believe that I'm like in Al Snow's presence. So I was so nervous. But now I literally like he'll tell you, like I'm literally always joking with him. I'd be like, hey Ali, and he'd be like, Jada, So like we literally always talking. We love him, and he's so wise. Like he knows everything he's doing. I literally always go up to him, ask for critique after my stuff, and then like he's so honest with me, and he's never really like, I don't know. He's just like a dad. Like you can go to him about anything. He's literally just like a dad, and you can trust him about anything. He'll be honest with you, and I definitely feel like he's the reason why I'm growing. Him and like OVW in general. I have grown so much as an individual since I've been there since January. But Al Snow, I literally have no words for him because he's just amazing.
I've probably told this story a couple of times. When the first ever OVW Combine was there, I was there, and Al invited me into one of his trainings. And he was beating the shit out of the kids for a while, and then he's like, all right, everybody take a 5-minute break. And some of them got out for like water or anything. He meant a 5-minute like physical break because he was still regurgitating stuff that I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know that. And I'm just sitting there, behind in Davis Arena, enjoying everything. And I'm like, these kids better be listening because he just meant he's not going to beat them up for 5 minutes because he's going to teach from, time A to time B when he's doing his classes. You understand that, right? Like if he says you can have a break, which is far and few between, and I'm not saying he beats you guys up like with a stick or anything, but he takes physical advantage of you so you understand what's going on in wrestling.
Oh yeah. And it's so funny you say that because we literally had a combine, I want to say like maybe a month ago.
Yeah.
And I was already on the roster, but me, like I want to make it to WWE. He's been there. I know he has the strings to get me where I want to be. So I was like, I'm going to do this combine. So he literally put us through the test, literally. And I remember one time we were doing push-ups and oh my God, y'all, I cannot do push-ups. Like, I'd be struggling on the push-ups. And I literally was about to stop. And he was like, Jada, don't give up. And I was like, oh, Allie. Oh. So I kept going. And it's just his little bit of motivation because he knows, like, what I want. He was like, if this is what you want, you need to be able to get through this. And I'm like, oh, okay, at least I'm going through it now. So, like, when I get a chance with WWE, I don't, let it go. Like, some people do. Because I'm like, when I get a chance, like, I want them to be like, yep, we're about to get her. So
yeah. All right, Al's a great guy, but there's one horrible human being still left in OVW. Tell me how much you hate Daniel Spencer, the referee. Isn't he just the worst?
Oh my God, he's the worst. He every time he never counts 1, 2, 3. He's always in the way. Like he's just so like. Ugh. No, I'm kidding. We love Daniel.
Yeah, we love everybody. It's been a shtick for 5 years. Everybody knows that. I want you guys just to hate on Daniel a little bit, and he'll hear this. He'll be like, oh no, you're going back through the roster again? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, you're going to get them to say something bad about me. I'm like, duh. Yeah, Daniel, because I hate you. No, he knows.
We love Daniel.
He's a great guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's an amazing rep too. He was also there for Impact too, so he made that, transition a little bit better just because, he is an Impact rep. So it was just fun, him being there because, I was a little shy little girl. Like, yeah. So he's amazing. We love him too.
I forgot to ask you this at the beginning of the show, how was catering at Impact? Because I've heard it's phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, well, we didn't really have much. We just had a sandwich. But I was so nervous that day. I didn't even eat. But, it looked good. I did eat the cookie. The cookie was amazing. It was just a sandwich that day just because we were all, we all had to get makeup done. It was just, we were all over the place that day. But everybody was cool.
All right. All right, let's take a break from wrestling a little bit. Let's learn a little bit more about Jada when Jada has, and it's few and far between, I understand that, a day off just to kind of be a bum. What do you do?
Oh, my God. I love being a bum. No, I'm kidding. So I literally call myself a bum all the time, which is so funny that you say that.
But because we call ourselves here, Sundays is bum day here. We literally don't do anything.
But right now, Jada is actually in college. So I am a sophomore in college, and I go to Valdosta State University, and Valdosta State is located in Georgia. So I'm actually in Georgia right now, which is why I'm not at OVW all the time anymore. But I'll still be there. I'll be there, I want to say, maybe 2 to 3 times a month now, just not all the time, just because I'm still in school.
Right.
But wrestling is still number one priority, right? They always say, put school first, and I'm like, no.
You always need, I'll be dad. You always need a backup because as much as I love wrestling, something can happen within seconds and then there's no more wrestling. Right? Yeah. What are you going for to be nosy?
Sports management. So literally everything that I'm doing, and I'm in this improv class, everything I'm doing is helping me with the main goal. So that's good. I cheer here at my college too, which is so, I'm living the best of both worlds. But I'm still wrestling all the time. I literally wrestle all the time in different promotions. So wrestling's still there. I'm going back to OVW next Thursday. So
there you go.
But when Jada is not at school, she literally just sleeps and goes to the pool.
Really? Oh, not a video gamer or anything like that?
I might play video games, if it's with my friends who are big video games, but I won't just play video games by myself.
Okay. These are some questions that are always why didn't you ask her this? Because it leads to another one. What's your favorite cereal, Jada?
I'm kind of boring. I really I love Captain Crunch and Captain Crunch and really Lucky Charms.
Those are both amazing cereals. At the age of 45, I still eat those. So never change that, by the way. It leads to this. Okay, it leads to this. Tell me how you make your cereal. Are you a sociopath or are you a normal human being?
Oh, you're probably... Okay. I'm not a normal human being. Okay.
Oh, no. Don't.
Okay, so this is how I do it. Okay. I feel like I'm gonna lose some fans. Oh my God. Okay, so I don't like milk. I don't drink milk just because I just don't like the taste of milk. So what I do is sometimes, normally I eat cereal dry, but if I want milk, I'll, put my cereal in there, then I'll put some milk in there. But I don't drink the milk, so I just want it wet. So I put my spoon in there and drain out the milk and then drink it. But I don't drink the milk. But one day, I literally didn't have any milk. So, oh my God, I'm about to lose some fans.
You used water. You used water.
Yes, I did. But here's the thing, though. It tastes the same.
It does.
Because I don't like milk. So I don't drink the milk. So I literally just drain it. And it tastes the same because it's wet. Okay, I'm sorry.
No. It's at least see, you're not crazy. You're a sociopath for using water that one time. That's fine. I think we all have, especially you're in college, girl. Come on, you don't have money to buy milk sometimes.
Sometimes.
It's the fact that you at least put the cereal in first. And then the people that put the milk in first and then try to jam the cereal in on top of it, those are the crazy people in the world, right?
Literally weirdos.
Thank you. Generic questions like favorite movie, favorite music. I'm going to wrap all these off and you can just give them and then we'll transition back to wrestling. Favorite movie, favorite music, favorite TV show. And then I have one more, but I'll save that. Go ahead.
Okay, so not wrestling. Okay, so favorite movie, it'll be either, I don't know, I'm like an emotional girl. Like, I love Safe Haven. It's an older movie, but it's on Netflix still. And then I also like, it's called Clouds. It's about a dude with cancer. But I feel like, it's relatable because I feel like we all know somebody who had or once had cancer. And it's a little, both of those stories are like sad, but they're happy endings. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you look past, the sadness. And I feel like that's life in general. It's like you go through sad moments, but then you keep going, you keep pushing through, and then there's happy endings. I feel like both of those, just because it has a lot to do with life. My favorite TV show, I love, that's a hard one because I actually really just watched wrestling.
Good. Yeah, that's what that was the answer we were all hoping for.
Okay, yeah. Can I just say wrestling?
Yes.
I don't really watch anything else.
Yeah. You're a wrestler. That's the only thing you're supposed to be watching is wrestling.
Literally.
Yeah.
I was like,
But what's your go-to song? Like you're at the gym working out. What's your go-to song?
Sasha Banks theme. But okay, not wrestling. Yeah, I love her. It's but like not wrestling, I feel like it'll be like Moment for Life by Nicki Minaj because it's like I'm the queen. I can get through this, Life's hard, but I'm the queen, so we're gonna do it,
Side note, this one wasn't written down, but I just have it in my head. Can you watch wrestling as a fan, or are you always like, oh, I saw what they did there? Do you always make it film study?
Yeah, it depends. Like, I feel like for like Sasha Bailey and like I love AJ Styles, I love Roman Reigns, and I love John Cena. So it's like them, like I'm a mega mark. But like other people, I'm like, ooh, this is what Al Snow means by this, or this is, what I'm saying? If it's not one of my favorites, I'm always constantly calling stuff out. But I like that too because I do the same thing they do. But when you see somebody else do it, it's like, ooh, I didn't like how that looked. Let me make sure I don't do this when I perform. So
right, and that's good. That's good to have it both ways because you need some enjoyment in your life to watch Sasha or Bailey or the list that you gave, and then when you're watching Ezekiel or Jungle Boy or somebody, you're like, I can change it up a little bit. All right, last silly question, and take this as you may before we get back into wrestling.
Okay.
If Al asked you to help him train dolphins, would you?
Yes.
Because he's a dolphin trainer as well, right?
Swear. Are you kidding?
No, he goes to Florida every once in a while and he does that.
Are you kidding me? And he never told me?
Well, that's he goes to Florida every once in a while, right? And he's got a house down. Yeah, ask him.
Oh, I'm going to hop on Allie because why didn't he tell me? Okay,
yeah, because
he's so cool.
He kind of hides stuff, but then he's got idiots like me, friends that will throw him under the bus for things. So yes, ask him.
It's fine because when I go there next week, I'm gonna say, hold on. You're taking me with you to Florida. Next time you go to train some dolphins.
There you go. All right. What we talked about a lot of your, high moments and you lying to your parents, but they like wrestling and everything. Give me your most embarrassing moment now that happened in your, we're rounding 3 years in wrestling, essentially, between training and, recently now.
Most embarrassing moments. I don't know because I feel like sometimes like I'm that was a hard one. I feel like sometimes I look dumb in the ring because I'm like, oh crap, I forgot to do this. But then I'm like, I look back at it and it's like, okay, it's not even that bad. But I feel like embarrassing, like kind of funny. It's like either walking out to the ring and I slipped but I just laugh it off, and they're just laughing with me because I'm like, yeah, it's so funny. Or I remember one time it was on a dark match at OVW actually, and I was so hyped. I literally like jumped up on the ropes, you know, to do my little hand signs and, you know, get the crowd hyped because that's what the spark is all about. And I literally almost fell over the ropes.
Oh no.
So I had to catch myself. But it was so funny because I was actually in the ring with Tiffany, and it was my birthday. It was literally like 3 weeks ago. It was my birthday. And I almost fell over the ropes. Like, it was embarrassing because, like, if you knew, you knew.
Right.
But it's fine.
No, that's not the one I want yet. Can you look back on little Spark that's hanging out, you know, with your brother watching wrestling for the first time, and can you look back and say, holy cow, I did this? Yet?
Yeah.
Has it sunk in?
It's crazy because I don't think about that all the time just because I'm just so worried about the now. But, like, as I, like, sit and I reflect, I'm like, oh, my God, like, I've already done so much and I haven't even been in the business for a year yet. And then it's like, and it's just so much more to come. But I could have never imagined that this would be my character and this is how I would act. But it's just like, okay, little Jada, like, you know, like, I'm starting to make a name for myself. And, like, I really just want to make a name. And, like, I really just want to be inspirational because that's what sticks with me the most. But it's more like, you're making it, kid, and keep going, you know? So
I love how you said you want to be inspirational because that's what rolled into my next question. Davis Arena. I've seen those kids, boys, girls, even families, just all there. Do you know how much you're touching those little kids right now? And, you know, from you seeing Sasha for the first time or Bailey for the first time, do you realize now that you're their Sasha, you're their Bailey? You know how you compared? That you are going to make an impact in somebody's life and say, I want to be Jada. Can that sink in? Like, you're somebody's hero.
It's insane because I've already had, like, kids and, like, their parents already come up to me and I'm like, bro, like, literally I'm a nobody, you know? And it's like, like, when kids say that, I'm like, I just want to cry. Like, I literally am like, oh my God. Like, I'm literally, because I'm still just a Mark. You know what I'm saying?
But
like,
you're not a nobody. You are Superman or Wonder Woman to them. Or whatever action hero they love.
Yeah, that's literally insane because I've already had multiple people come up to me like, she was like, you're my favorite women's wrestler. And I was like, wait, what? Like, what? And then her mama was like, can you please take a picture with her? Like, she loves you. Like, she doesn't even like wrestling, but she loves you. And I was like, oh my God, yes. And then, like, when, like, the parents, like, they're like, can you take a picture with her? Like, she's scared to ask you, but you were her favorite. And I'm like, it's just so crazy because I'm like, this is what I want to do. And, like, I was inspired by my favorite. So it's like, I just want, and I'm going to keep, like, going back to, like, that's why my gimmick, or like my slogan that I say is believe in your spark, because everybody has a spark, and whether it's dimmed right now or whether you're shining their brightest, like, everybody has a spark, and everybody, you know what I'm saying? Like, you need to find it and use it and always have it because everybody has something in them. You just have to find it and figure out what your purpose of life is. And so that's just more so it's like inspirational wise, like, it, like, life is hard, but hey, I have this. This is what makes me happy. This is, you know what I'm saying? Because
this is great advice. That's why I'm not speaking.
hard.
This is amazing advice for not only kids, just a 45-year-old garbage man that might be down in his dumps for today. And I'm like, I'm listening to you, and I'm like, damn her, she's only a couple years older than my son, and you're making me cry on this end. Yeah.
No, but it's true. Like, everybody has a spark. No matter what you do, it's like always be the spark somebody needs in their life. You know what I'm saying? Like, always be that one happy person because life is hard. And I always say that life is hard. But if you're that spark to somebody, somebody's going to be that spark for you.
Yeah. My mom and my grandmother always told me,
literally,
if you could touch, you know, one person's life, you win at this game of life.
You're doing something right.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. So. Literally. The question you are going to get 1,000,000 times over on any podcast that you're on, and a wrestler once told me, is like, we're wrestlers. That question changes every 6 months. So, as of today, who is your dream match against? But I always have a caveat to that. I want to know who, I want to know where, and I want to know the stipulation of the match.
Oh, I always say like I already said it, but Bailey or Sasha. But I would, if I had to pick one, it'll probably be Sasha Banks. Because I feel like our styles, like I feel like we could make a really, really good match. And then, like I've always said, like she's just an inspiration to me. So the fact that if I get to have a match with her, like it'll just be amazing. Like I'll probably be like crying the whole day, but like I feel like it'll be worth it. Like I always tell people, like, hey, like if I get to wrestle Sasha, then if they be like, you can't ever wrestle again, I would probably do it. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know. No words for her. But I feel like I would want it to be probably in New York, the Madison Square Garden, or like maybe somewhere in Kentucky, just because I feel like that's where my career really skyrocketed.
So the Yum Center. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it'll be somewhere there. And then Hell in a Cell match.
Oh.
Me and Sasha, yeah, definitely Hell in a Cell.
Okay. I was, if you didn't have a stipulation, I would just say I could see you two really ripping off an amazing ladder match. But shit,
yeah,
you just trumped it and went Hell in a Cell, so I have to give you yes, Hell in a Cell.
Hell in a Cell.
For sure. So I know you have, school going on, and you said, in a little bit you'll be heading back to OVW. Anything else where people can see you, on weekends when you're wrestling? What's going on in your life, shows or otherwise, that people are like, oh yeah. And then again, give everybody your socials, and can they get merch or pictures or anything from you yet, like through DMs?
Yeah.
So this is your time to tell me all of that.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm actually from South Carolina. So I wrestle a lot in the Carolinas. So basically South Carolina, North Carolina. I'm wrestling some in Georgia because, that's where I go to school. But I always put out my matches like a couple weeks in advance. So like if you just, follow me on my socials, like you'll see all my matches because they're kind of like all over the place. I'm actually about to go to, I have a match in North Carolina coming up on the 9th. Then I'm going to Tennessee. I'm getting flown out for Liberty Pro Wrestling in Tennessee. OVW, I'm always somewhere in Kentucky. But yeah, just follow me on my socials just because I'm like, people reaching out and I'm like, oh, you gonna do this? But I'm just happy to be here right now. I'm just living my dream. So, but my socials are on Instagram is Jada.Stone with 3 E's because 3 is my favorite number. And then
I was wondering that. Okay.
Yeah. And then on Twitter it's just Jada Stone with 3 E's with no period. And then on Facebook, you can just find me at Jada Stone. But I do have shirts, and I do have 8x10s. So if you catch me at one of my shows, just come say hey. And then I take pictures for free because, I'm a nobody yet. But
stop it. I hate that. No, you're not.
If you want shirts or anything, it's crazy because Austin was always like, Jada, you're somebody, you're a star. Like, stop. No. So if Al hears this, he's going to be like, Jada.
Yeah.
Don't ever say that. But so yeah, like, and if you want pictures or whatever and you're out of state, I ship. So just, hit me up. I'm always on Instagram. So if you want to hit me up on Instagram because that's where I'm most popular.
That is, and you don't believe everything that she posts. It's like, Jada's my whole freaking feed for the day. Okay, thanks, Jada. You just take my whole feed up for the day. So yeah. It literally was one day, and I'm like, holy moly, Jada. Oh, there's Sasha, but there's, yeah.
Yeah.
Did I miss anything? Do you want to tell us anything else before I let you go? Because you got to go to class, girl.
Yeah, I have class at 4. I have like an hour and 10 minutes. I'm just chilling at the house right now. But no, just stay, always be the spark somebody needs in their life, literally, and always believe in your spark. And if you know what I'm saying, like if you don't feel like you have a spark, find your purpose and then go from there. Like, I don't know, just stay happy. It's easy to get sad in life, but hey, always be that spark. So that's all. But thank you so much for having me. This was so fun.
It's been a blast. I'm sure I'll see you in person, and that's
yeah.
great advice. It really is great advice to
Thank you.
have that spark or be that spark, because I believe a lot in karma. And if you're a spark for somebody,
Literally,
somebody's going to give you that spark when you're miserable to bounce you back up. So
literally.
So Jada,
Literally.
I appreciate you coming on. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Can't Crusher Nation, that was the Spark Jada Stone. 3 E's because her favorite number is 3. I didn't know that. I did wonder why she had EEE at the end of it. Nonetheless, I can't keep up with her. I can't. She is so full of energy. She is unbelievable. One of the most upbeat from start to finish interviews ever here on the podcast. I loved it. Today, as we're recording, I needed this today. It was a rainy, miserable, heavy work day. And then as soon as I got home, I had to jump on because, as you heard, she's going to class, this, that, and the other. And this has got me ready to go. I could probably do 50 more interviews tonight and get stuff set up, do a lot of editing. It is that little bit. It is that, air quotes, spark that you get from somebody. And she is going to continue doing that for talent, for people like Daniel Spencer that don't have a spark, for Al to keep him going because he's 167 years old, for other people, the kids and everything. She is just going to be that spark in your light. And you guys heard that. I told you, her ceiling is endless. She wants Sasha. All right. That cool within itself. But Al knows that this is somebody that, or should I say Allie? God, he's going to hate that I said that. Allie knows that this is, she's got it. She's going to blossom and fly through the roof. So excited that she came on the show. I'm so excited that we have this budding relationship, friendship going on now. Man, I cannot wait to have Jada come back on the show to talk more about her career, what's going on. Maybe, as we talked a little bit after the interview ended, she does a recap of a pay-per-view that we're going to have wrestlers join us with here in the near future. So much going on, so much busy stuff with Jada, and I wish her the best because she is going to be there knocking on that door sooner than you think. So make sure you follow her, make sure you reach out, buy some of her merch, some of her 8x10s and all of that. That'll be awesome. I'm super pumped for you. Jada, thank you for coming on the show. All right, guys, again, you know where we're at. We're on Spotify, we're on iHeart, we're on Stitcher, we're on Google, we're on iTunes. Again, the list just goes on and on. Hit us up if you want to be part of the show. cancrusher69@gmail.com. Any of our socials, which is Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, all of that is at cancrusher69. Guys, and if you can leave a rating, the heart, follow, that's awesome. It only helps jack us up higher, and so we can knock on Chris Jericho or JR's door or bust it open or whatever. But hey, we love our listeners. We love Can Crusher Nation. Thank you for enjoying this ride for the last essentially 5 years, just trucking out and enjoying wrestling with us. Spotlights really get me going. I love hearing the stories. So come on the show, enjoy some wrestling talk, and remember, just because you're trash, it doesn't mean you can't do great things. It's called a garbage can, not a garbage cannot.